Happy Thursday. Well, that's our show for the evening. Thank you. Just kidding. April Fools, everyone. I didn't want to give you guys a heads up. I was doing that. So
that's funny. I forgot it was April Fool's Day.
That's okay. Well, I hope everyone had a wonderful March, and now we're, was it 1/4 of the way done with 2021?
Can we not? Time goes by too fast, man. I can't believe it.
Facts. As you get older, it goes by faster. It just does.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It depends.
You wake up one morning and you're 43 years old and you're starting to get a turkey neck and you're like, what the hell just happened to me? Anyway,
you have to play with the camera. You have to play with the camera to get that good angle, so you don't.
Yeah. It's like make sure you don't get this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm already getting there. I had this unfortunate genetic, slope.
Yeah.
So
Good times. Anywho, let's do our round robin. Chan, how's your week been?
I'm great, and I'm eating jelly beans for dinner.
What? I'm so jealous.
Traditional Easter meal.
I love it.
Yeah, there's Starburst jelly beans.
Those
too,
are the
those are better. Yeah, I'm not a fan of regular ones, but yeah.
I'm having a great time. I had a shitty morning. I forgot that I was running out of coffee filters. Because I still make a traditional pot of coffee every morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay,
I'm not a Keurig person. So I had a Keurig coffee because luckily I had pods because I never use them. So I did that and I was like, this doesn't taste right. And I was just a cranky bitch all day because I didn't have my coffee the way I wanted it. And I slept in too late, which made me grouchy too. So now I'm just eating jelly beans for dinner and drinking even more coffee and having a great time because I'm here with you guys.
I love it.
But yeah. How are you, Lady Love? What's going on?
I am good. I am on my spring break. So, been able to relax. Well, it's almost over, but I'm still thinking, I'm like, no, I still got like 3 days left.
Mm-hmm.
3 days left.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the positive, movement I'm going. So just been relaxing. Yesterday, I got a very interesting package in the mail. Jason hands it to me. He's like, we got something from JD and Chan. And he was like, we had no idea what it was. So we started opening it and he went, I think this is for you. I was like, what do you mean? So I opened it up and there was a few things and I was like, there was some soap and a notebook and a really cool bag. And I was like,
that bag.
Oh, I love it. And I have used it. So I was very, very loved and thankful for that.
Let me see if I can get that.
And then then yesterday evening, Jason and I went to go see Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, don't tell me anything yet. I'm going to see that.
You went to go see it? You didn't?
We actually went and got to see. He got exclusive tickets because we actually were part of a what is it called? Like a showing, like a screening for it to kind of get our ideas of what we thought of what it was, how it was. And before we went, I went and spent way too much money at Second and Charles. No regrets whatsoever spending money at that store. So then we went to go see the movie. So yeah, that's been my week. What about you, Kat, with your cat ears?
I love it.
Honestly, this is the highlight of my week. It's been, I'll be honest, it's been a rough week.
Would you say shit show?
Yeah. Well, it's been very sad.
Yeah.
I lost my aunt on Friday, which she and I were very close. She was more my mom than my mom ever was. So, it's better for her because her quality of life had been going bad for a very long time. So on one hand, I'm kind of glad she's out of pain. She's no longer suffering. On the other hand, I'm very sad that I lost my person. But, so it's been a rough week. And then I had to work, I found out on Friday she passed. So I had to work Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which was difficult. And ended up got so distracted at one point, managed to stab myself with a scalpel. Do not recommend that doing that, by the
Oh.
way.
Do not do that again.
Yeah. Hey, I glued it shut myself. It actually
That's good.
Good job.
yeah.
Little super glue.
Yeah, skin glue, yeah, which is basically super glue. But I went and got my hair cut, which a little bit of self-care for myself, and had a couple days off, and I'm doing better. And now I get to talk to you guys, so it's all good.
I'm
Yay.
glad you
very
were able to
nice.
get your hair cut. I tried getting my hair cut in my salon. I called and left a message, and she called back, and she was like, "Well, unfortunately, because of all the restrictions, it's the owner." She was like, "I am the only one who can work right now,
Oh
and I can
no.
only have one person come in at a time,
Mhm.
cut, clean, and then the next client come in." She's like, "I am
Ugh.
so booked right now." So I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, that
That's
sucks.
crazy.
No. Yeah,
And-
luckily I see a lady that she belongs to a co-op, so like everyone has their own room.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting.
And she just kind of works for fun. She's older, she just works just to kind of put some extra money in her pocket. So she's picky about who she sees. Like, you have to be a friend of a friend of a friend type of deal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I want to stay with the salon because they're the salon. They've been the salon I've gone to for a while now, so I'm going to stay
Mhm.
loyal to them. And they were also the salon that did my hair for my wedding, so I kind of had like a
definitely.
loyalty with them. So I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? As much as I would love to go somewhere else to get my hair cut,
Loyalty.
I'll see how I do, and maybe once more of the restrictions are lessened,
Mhm.
Yeah,
More-
good idea.
they'll have
You can
more
always just
schedules
Set the
open.
appointment and just be ready for it next month.
exactly.
The only
Yeah.
problem though is I don't really know my schedule because I can't
Mm.
really go during the week because I work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those like that's what I was hoping to get this week since I was free all week, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never how it works, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no.
How have you been doing, Ams?
I've been good. This weather has been really weird, so I guess age is a fun thing to experience for any human, I guess, because now I'm starting to get, for the first time in my life, migraines. So I'm just
times.
like, yeah, I know.
Oh, no.
Like it first started, I started weeks ago. I didn't make much of it. It's only because they're reoccurring now that I'm making a note of it. But like it started like right here, very localized, like pain behind my eye and like
no.
on my cheek and my eyebrow. It was just like for like an hour, and that was it. But then
Are
like
you sure
started
it's
to,
not sinus related?
no, it wasn't. So I
No.
thought it was at first, but then
Okay.
it just started it just went to one part of my face. I'm like, that doesn't seem normal. And then my mom, thankfully, well, she has migraines frequently and she knows about them a lot. So
Mhm.
she's like, oh, that's a migraine. You're fine. I mean, not really, but it's not
Yeah.
anything else. So
No, Mom, don't say that. Yeah.
and now I'm realizing that migraines are more than just like headaches. It's
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
strange because now
Mhm.
like my butt's vibrating. It feels like I'm
Yeah.
vibrating. And I'm
It's
like,
nerves.
what the hell is happening? I don't understand. So I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I need to up my exercise and just make sure I stretch enough. I'm like, I'm not even 30, man. What the hell?
Excedrin migraine is your friend.
It is.
Oh,
It is.
And
Yeah.
there's actually a pressure point as well. I get migraines. I actually got a daith piercing to help with
Oh,
them,
right.
which did help actually
Ah.
a ton.
Mhm.
But there's a pressure point on your hand. If you
Yep.
push, like right there, like pinch it.
It's right here. And just pinch it.
Yeah, like the meat of between your thumb and your index finger. Pinch it
Mhm.
really hard and hold it.
Mhm.
It helps. It won't eliminate
Cool.
the headache totally, but it'll like bring it down a little bit that you can
Mm.
tolerate it.
Thank you.
And learn like sometimes food will trigger it or stuff like that. For me,
Yeah.
it's just like it just happens. But
Mhm.
I always know it's happening because I start smelling like ozone. It's the weirdest
Mm.
thing.
That is weird. Oh.
Like some people see auras.
Mhm.
Yeah, Max had one of those the other day. He had a visual migraine. He was like, "I'm seeing like a ceiling fan up on like right here on top of my vision." I'm just like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry."
Yeah, I end up with like I smell ozone, and the minute I smell that, I have to either pop Excedrin or I have to go to bed. Otherwise, I'm screwed.
Holy crap! I'm so
See,
sorry.
I don't really get migraines. I just get headaches with
Same.
pressure changes.
I've never had a migraine. It was just freaked me out when it
I
first started.
can always tell when the weather's changing because I get a headache. I start
Yeah.
getting a headache, and
So I was
I'm just
gonna
like,
segue in-
"Mm."
Yeah. So I was going to segue into that because like all these pressure changes and all the rain happening lately.
Mhm.
My head.
I carry a lead with me just because of that.
I might have to start. Yeah, I might
You can
have to
also
start
do
doing that.
peppermint oil. That's what I was using when
Ooh.
my migraines were really bad last year. So I had used a lot of the peppermint oil, and then also I have like because it kind of sounds like similar to where I have mine. So I had little like they're like rice. You know, when you heat rice or whatnot from it, but they were
Yeah.
like for my eyes instead. Because
Like
mine are
little
all right up
satchels?
here. Yeah. So essentially I
Mhm.
had that and I would heat up some rice and just like sit down and just have that on me. Just the heat and the pressure
Ooh.
of the rice, like on, like you can probably put it in like a sock or something like that.
That helps
Yeah.
a lot.
And
yeah.
and that helped me a lot with my migraines from it.
I have
Well,
one
that
that's
sounds nice.
cherry pits that you can put in the microwave, and they're just in like a fabric
Yeah.
like satchel thing,
Mhm.
because cherry pits will heat up that like the rice will too.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
it's like having like a sack of peas out of the freezer, but they're warm.
Mhm.
But you can have them in the freezer too. But like
Yeah, you can do it cold or warm.
Mhm.
Warm works better for me than cold. So
just figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, that's new things happening to me every day, I guess. So, and I just shipped off one of my commissions. Kat, you should know about it. I'm
Oh,
so excited.
awesome!
Mhm.
Oh my god!
I know. I'm so excited. And
I
he
saw the
got-
progress picture. Wow, is all I
I'm
could
so
say.
proud of it. And I'm
It's
like,
amazing.
thank you. He told me, I don't know if I want to drop him, but he told me he was stealing your hat. In
He
the
did-
meantime.
He has stolen my hat. I have finally stolen it back, and now I have hidden it so he can't get to it.
He's getting his own, don't worry. I'm so happy. And then I made some progress on Chan's blanket. And I have this, it's just every show I have something underneath my camera. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
So I have, this week it's a sweater. So I'm making a sweater. I know.
Awesome.
very
Isn't it
nice. I
nice?
like it. Yeah, the bottom portion, right?
Yeah, there's this is the body. This is what I'm working on first.
Yes.
So then
Sweetie, that
Yeah.
looks beautiful. Oh my
That's so
god.
I hope
That
I have
is
enough
awesome.
yarn. So, but I bought the pattern, and here's the great thing about
Yeah.
this: the pattern I bought, I can use the pattern and sell the sweaters that I make from it, so I don't have to worry about like copyright infringement. So yes, I can
Yeah.
put that on my
Awesome.
shelf.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you already know you have buyers from all of us. You got the Slytherins, you got your Gryffindor, you got your you got
Oh,
your
I'm doing it, man! I'm
doing
gonna go like full color work and crazy insane. You know, once I'm there and I'm ready and able to do it, I will let you guys know, and I will set you up for the holidays. So
It's literally learning to do Weasley sweaters are probably going to be very, very popular for you.
Okay.
Being able to do any custom letter on there with the
Yep.
color combo is going to
Mhm.
probably be a big thing. It's just because Weasley sweaters are a big a thing
Oh,
for
they're
the family. So like doing
Yeah.
that would be a very big thing for you.
I'll definitely try it. Thank you. So yeah, that's been my week. Knitting, and I'll just try to expand my repertoire as I'm trying to be more of a business owner / artist / everything. So, how are you, Grims? How are you?
Doing good. Before I get into my thing, I finally did get Lady Love's present, so I'm going to pop that up real quick so the viewers can see it.
Yes, I love that bag. It
Yeah,
is
the bag is
downstairs
adorable.
with my stuff in it.
I love the fact that it's handmade. Like that was
Yes.
so important to me. And whenever I saw it, and it like, it was funny. Jason sent me a message, and I think I said something like, "It just jumped off the rack and said it needed to belong to Bethany." So I,
Yeah, pretty much.
like, I need to go to Bethany, and I was like, "Yes, you do." Come on.
It's all like,
That's
Jen,
awesome.
give me my home.
Well, and what's great about
yeah.
the bag
Send me
is that
home.
if you when you read the tag, is that a
Mhm.
portion of the proceeds goes to like animals being able to like. Fine, hold on. Let me
Yeah.
slide the tag. Okay.
That company is very, very cool.
Oh,
Here it is. They donate. It's animal rights and welfare. They donate 5% of the annual net profits to help animals in needs.
Okay.
That's
so
cool.
to me, that's a big.
It's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
big
a
thing for me.
well, what does the notebook say? The leather one. Yeah.
It says, like I said, I have like a shit ton behind me. I'm like,
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
It says, may the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the breeze blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life.
Oh,
It is
I
That's
like
pretty.
that.
Epic blessing. So yeah, I thought that was really cool, and it's it's just a plain. You can tell it was obviously handmade because it's
Hmm.
plain
I like
paper.
that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
do a lot of shopping at places that have like handmade stuff. Amy's shown me a couple of cool spots in the local area where things are made,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
by
love
hand
this.
and stuff.
I love this shit. This is like my thing. I love that handmade. You know, you look at it and you know someone made it.
Hmm.
Mm.
I love that. That's
The
awesome.
soaps are the same way. They're all
Mhm.
handmade.
Oh,
too.
I know. I love that. I was like sniffing them. Casey was like,
Sniff the
she had
soap.
sitting around Crystal too long because she's starting to do what Crystal does.
That's okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes we just gotta surprise the people that we care about, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So now
Just
I need
be
to find
prepared,
someone
ladies.
to
You never know.
Never know.
pass it on to someone else.
But yeah, anyway, so now that I finished with that one,
Yeah.
week has been kind of boring for the most part. It's whatever. But today I decided to just go out and do some shopping, other stuff, and then I decided to go out and look for boards to make into pin boards. And so I found a couple that I like. I took, I'll show you kind of like the size and stuff, but I ended up taking photos for ease sake as well. So this first one I found, you can kind of see it's kind of big. Kind of cool.
Oh,
It's got this really pretty, like minty-ish color on it, and I just stabbing myself with the pen. I'm going to rip it out and put corkboard in it. But I like it for the wedding pin collection.
Mhm.
So I think this is big.
yeah.
I have to see if the color is going to match to it. So here's like a photo of the whole thing. But if the color matches enough, I may have to repaint it to kind of match it a little bit better. So I'm not sure. I'll probably make it a little bit darker or more of a teal is what my feeling is going to be, with like a silver wash to it, most likely. If I don't like the way that it's looking itself. But of course, I'll have to find a big piece of corkboard, which I've been watching a lot of people do, and then cut it out to kind of fit the shape, since it is very unique. So it will be a bit of work on it, and I'll put like a layer of fabric on top of it, so that then it's like a nice pretty type thing. So maybe I might do the maybe silvery the background or something stand out. And then I also found then this big ass Humunga Jungo one.
Yes.
That one I'm gonna do. I was looking around. I was hoping I would find one that would work, and I kind of like the overall design for it. So you can kind of see it big here. It's meant for like a photo thing. So I'm actually going to just rip those strings out and then put cork on it. What I really liked was the design around the edging here. So I'm going to make it my Weasley Wizard Wheezes thing. So like it has the indentations, and those I'm going to make purple, and then the top I'm going to make it what's going to like a dark purple, and the top is going to be a bright orange. And
Nice.
With the Weasley Wizard Wheezes, I'm also going to make it with my Honeydukes as well. Originally, I was going to do a Honeydukes by itself, but I don't really have enough pins to kind of do it, and I'm trying to reduce what pins I'm buying. So it'll be kind of with Weasley Wizard Wheezes. I'll probably like a Honeyduke section, and then maybe like a Flourish and Blots and whatever extra kind of like style pin. So it'll be like overall a diagonally pin board, but with the focus being on Weasley Wizard Wheezes and the Weasley twins, because they're my favorite characters in the Harry Potter series. So that's going to be the overall for that. So I'm going to probably be working on that a little bit throughout the show, just because it's going to be kind of my stress relieving project, since I'm going to manually go in and color the purple so that I don't have to like white the top on top of it. So I'm going to try my best. Fingers crossed, but this is going to be like a long project with it. But I feel like it'll be good stress reducer, because I do like painting.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah, so I'll progress pics and stuff of that nature as it goes on.
Yes,
So
please.
that's what I'm going to be kind of working on. So we'll see how far I get today. As for pins, I'm going to show. I did talk about some of these last week. So they came in. I decided to go Star Wars, but I decided to go with my two favorite female Star Wars characters that, of course, I collect pins of. So I'm not going to show the pins like this. I did take photos of them so you can kind of see. I did talk about the Canera one, so I'll put that up here. So it's Hera and Kanan together, and then that's from Culture Girl Flair, and then her husband actually is Evergreen Merch, and they did a Pop Shop live show recently, and they were doing a blind bag of like their B gray pins, and that's where I got the Kanan from, and then the mall also came from that as well. I also got this Obi-Wan one, like where he's like in his not Death Force, his like Ghost Force thing. I'm like, ugh, I don't like that. And I also got a Drive one. I'm not a Obi-Wan fan that much. I mean, I like him from Clone Wars, but I'm not, because I like Ewan McGregor, but I'm not really an Obi-Wan.
No, I agree.
I feel like he just didn't really lead, like he's better there, but when it comes to Luke, I just don't really think that he was wise in it. They just didn't really plan it well. I just feel like he just was not a good person to lead Luke. I feel like he was much like Dumbledore, kind of misleading Harry. It just wasn't. And then the middle is Armstrong Outpost, which is the Hera chest, which I have Ahsoka of that as well. And so just to real quick, that's their Instagram handles. So of course, if anyone's interested in any of their stuff, they do a lot of good Star Wars stuff. And then my other favorite one is, of course, Ahsoka. So I got a bunch of like really good Ahsoka pens. So surprisingly, I mean, I talk about this one person a lot, which is Laser Brain Patch Company, and she's coming out with the Star Wars teacup series, and I want to freaking kill myself. So her first one was this Ahsoka pin, and in the little teacup thing, it says "I am no Jedi," and it's so cute. In her starship, it actually is like not stained glass, but like see through, so it actually you can see through it. And then the Ahsoka with Anakin, I think that's what draws me most to her, is that I like her relationship with Anakin, which I think I've talked about in the past. And so I really like that cut out of the two of them, kind of like one of their last times that they see each other before he becomes Darth Vader. And so I think it's a really like cute moment, or a good important moment. And then the bottom, of course, is Grogu with Mando and Ahsoka.
I love it.
One of the big Hundungadungs. And what's cool, let me hide this away, is that I don't know if I showed it, but it does move the little ball back and forth.
Cool.
So the ball can go back. Just like the scene where he's trying to shoot it with it.
So cool.
So I'm pushing it a little too far, but yeah, it's supposed to go back and forth and whatnot from it.
Oh.
So I think that's a really cute pin. It's one of the bigger expensive ones that I got, so I don't really want to do any of those. But I do actually really. They did another one, and I was like, I don't like that one so much, but this one I had to, because that scene, that was just perfect. Especially when you're just learning his name. It's like, that's Grogu. It's like this episode when you find his name. It's like, how can I not want a pin from that scene?
Oh my god, he's not just a child anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm crying now.
Just real quick, their Instagram handles too. So hopefully that kind of shows a little simpler, so you can actually see the pins a little bit better this time. So I hope that worked out a little. But anywho, speaking of strong female women and going against the odds and defying everything and forging their way in the world, tonight's topic, of course, is women that have done that historically for us, whether it could be more recent times or in the past. And each one of us has picked a woman who would like to go first on what they would like to talk about. Bring up topic.
Anybody?
Anybody?
I can go first.
Okay.
I'm going to pull it up on my phone. So I went with, it was actually, I watched a documentary on her not long ago. And it was Elizabeth Smith Friedman. And she is known as the first female cryptologist.
Ah.
So she was one of the first female code breakers. And she was used some during World War II. And then she actually created code for the Coast Guard during Prohibition, because she was able to help break code when the moonshiners were trying to smuggle alcohol in. She was able to break a lot of the codes to get them arrested. And she would actually go to court. She would stand up there and, I mean, they knew who she was. Yep, there she is. And they would, she would testify against them. And she wasn't scared. She was like, no, I'm not scared. And then she was really big during World War II against, not only, breaking Nazi code, but also the Japanese. And she helped bring down a very large Nazi ring in South America by learning their code. But unfortunately, because she was a woman during this time and she was working with the military, she didn't get the recognition that she deserved. And the big thing is Hoover, who, the FBI building is named after, and he was the director of the FBI. He didn't like the fact that a woman was able to do this when a man couldn't, and he went in and pretty much took all of the recognition from her. And because she signed a no compliance, she could not say anything. And it's just been recently, within the past few years, she has started getting some of the recognition of what she's done, the work that she's done during the war and during Prohibition as a code breaker. And a lot of the codes that code breakers use now are the same ones she actually created.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. It always seems to happen like that, doesn't it? It's like the men just go like, "Oh, that's a good idea. It's mine now. Goodbye.
Yeah.
No, it's not yours anymore."
Well, if you look
I've
at,
appropriated
We're supposed to be barefoot and pregnant and not doing anything.
it. In the kitchen. There you go.
Screw that.
Mm.
Fuck that.
Make me some pie.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No. But even like Watson and Crick, the guys that discovered DNA, most of their work was done by a woman. And
Yes.
I apologize.
Her.
I apologize. Her name is escaping me currently. I usually know it, but I forgot.
Mhm.
But it took a long time for her to get any recognition, but she was the one that actually did pretty much the finding. They just took the credit.
Mhm.
And I'd have to Google it. I don't remember her name. But yeah, it happens constantly.
Constantly.
Well, unfortunately with her is that it was the government swooped in and
Yeah.
Sure.
and the thing is, like, she was running her own group in the Navy, but because she was a woman, she technically couldn't. So she was telling a man what needed to be in that, and he was then telling the
What's
group
going on.
of code breakers.
Yeah.
They weren't going to take any kind of direction from a woman.
Yeah.
Of
I hate
course.
that. Hate that stigma. Well, speaking of women that don't get the proper recognition, I wanted to mention not her herself didn't do any work to affect the scientific community, but her cells have. If you know the name of Henrietta Lacks, the HeLa
Yep.
cells,
HeLa
those
cells.
are famous cancer cells that have contributed to so much important cancer research and such advances in medical technology, and they're still alive today. Like this was like back in the 50s or 60s, something like that.
She was a cancer patient with a fairly advanced form of cancer. The doctors took cell samples without consent, which is a big no-no, to do research. Unfortunately, she did pass away from her cancer, but her cell line propagated and has not died out. But the big problem is, amazing advances, but they did all that without her consent. She was a poor, uneducated, African-American woman.
Yeah.
And they just basically took her cells. And there's actually some controversy as to whether she was not actually treated properly in order to get the cells, that these doctors then realized these were like good cells to do research with. It's such, whoop.
Are you good?
Whoa.
Sorry.
Kate took us for a ride.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's not mounted. It's like a separate thing. So I knocked the cord and it went.
So basically, you pulled a Nick, but not really.
My camera pulled a Nick.
Yeah, there you go. Reverse.
There we go.
Yeah, good recognition to her. She inadvertently and indirectly affected a lot of medical research and everything today. So I appreciate her for that, even though she's not around anymore, unfortunately. So then I guess while I'm still talking, there's two women that I personally personally love. Marie Curie is one of the other ones. She with her husband, what is exactly she discovered? She was they essentially like did research into radiation. They died because of it too, and basically gave us the understanding of radiation in uranium and plutonium and whatnot that we have today. And so like she was like, there was like some sense of martyrdom in that, or it's like self-sacrifice of, you know, contributing yourself to the greater good in science. And I'm like super, I love her. And she's Polish too, which I'm learning. Oh my gosh. And I'm reading from Wikipedia, but apparently she was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only to win it twice. So, yeah, super great, amazing woman. I know I should be trying to do more justice, but my brain just doesn't like to.
I thought
You're doing well.
I thought with her it was they wanted to give it to her husband, and he said no.
Mm-hmm.
She had to be there to receive it too. If I remember correctly. I think her husband actually stood up and said, "No, she was the one who did the work. She deserves it." But they wouldn't give it to her unless I think he was there or something.
Something along those lines. That sounds close. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
There
important.
tends to be a lot of that stuff. It's a lot of for not just women, but just in general, someone who's being overlooked. It's got to be someone else who's standing up to say, no, this is the right one for it. It can't be it's unfortunately you rely on those to stand up for you, even though you're trying to stand up for yourself. Sometimes you need that extra help. Otherwise they just don't listen.
Yep. Yeah. And Rosalind Franklin was the name of the scientist that was integral to Watson and Crick's work. Rosalind Franklin. Her work was basically what they used to prove what they wanted to, if she hadn't been part of it, they never would have figured it out.
Wow. Nice.
That's crazy.
Sorry, this is a topic near and dear to me. I mean, being a woman in science. This is a topic that is near and dear to me. Like the women that I actually were thinking about talking about were the first female veterinarians in the country. There she is, Rosalind Franklin.
Wow.
Yeah, without her, DNA would not have been figured out. And without DNA, I mean, there's medical aspects, there's criminal investigative aspects, paternity testing, all that. I mean, it's vital stuff. And without her work, Watson and Crick would have been up a creek, literally. Like seriously.
That's awesome.
But did you know this is actually pretty interesting? Veterinarians primarily are female now, which is flippin' awesome. My class, which graduated 16 years ago, it was a class of 90. We only had maybe 8 guys in it. That was it. Women way outnumber, but it wasn't always the case. The first woman to graduate veterinary school in this country, and I'm only focusing on America, the first one graduated in 1903, amazingly enough.
Wow.
But unfortunately, there's not a lot known about her, so I don't know what, she was kind of like lost to history. But in 1910, the first 2 women actually graduated and went into practice. 1910. How cool is that? It was Eleanor McGrath and Florence Kimball. And they actually became small animal veterinarians, which at the time was very rare, because basically at that time veterinary medicine was more focused on like livestock and stuff. And I just think that's cool. They kind of paved the way for what is now a female dominated profession.
I find that awesome. That's so cool. There was one other woman I wanted to mention that I learned about yesterday. Well, not yesterday. I think it was like a day ago, but we were like, when we were starting to talk about this topic and I was like trying to research, I learned about, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her last name right, but Susan Kare. Apparently, she is the graphic designer who helped make like Apple logos and Apple design back when Steve Jobs was still alive. So she's actually really integral. She was really integral in like major part of the process. And I'm just going to read from Wikipedia real quick. She's best known for her interface elements and typeface contributions to the first Apple Macintosh from 1983 to 1986. So usually Steve Jobs gets all the credit of being like the absolute like head of Apple and the front runner. Yeah, there she is. So apparently she did a lot of the GUI design for it. What was it, like the command key? Oh, the lasso tool in Photoshop, which I use a lot. So like that one really rings out with me. I thought it was just like so amazing to learn about. But it's kind of sad that like I had to learn about it through like an external source. Like you don't get taught this until you go out and like seek this information. Like these people are just like overlooked, and it's kind of sad. So, but yeah, I thought she was a really cool person to mention. Like really, just like you wouldn't think to, not to give her credit because she does deserve the credit, but it's just it's like some of these like seemingly little things that have become so important in our lives. So yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Sorry.
Seriously.
No, it is awesome because there's women in technology or STEM as a whole is such a big thing and such a big push that needs to kind of be done because it is just dominated. I don't know. Some of it might be force dominated, but I think also some of it is almost just socially and culturally. Like girls are kind of just not drawn to those things so much. Although I think it is changing as time goes on and whatnot. But I think for a lot of women or girls in general, that's not really seen as something that's dainty and sweet. We want to do other style stuff, something that's artsy and creative, but you seeing how you could still use your creativity and artsy in a textile field and being able to use it outside of it or just being a STEM student. Like just
a lot of times there's also seems to be like a kind of a prejudice, what's internalized, if it's another woman or if it's from a man, that you're just not capable of it. I remember when I told my family I'm going to be a doctor. I want to be a veterinarian. I decided that when I was 12 years old. I can tell you how many family members, my grandmother, who was not a housewife, she was a bookkeeper. Yeah, she. Hi.
Yeah. I'm hearing grunting.
Yeah, I
know. Hello.
Puppy grunting.
She wanted to show you guys her new hair. Speaking of creative,
I love it. That is actually awesome. That looks beautiful.
I said it looks beautiful.
Okay. Thank you.
Go.
You're welcome.
GTFO.
But like
we
even
love you.
Even my own grandmother, who was for her age of like a fairly modern woman, she was a bookkeeper. She married a Protestant, which in her German Catholic neighborhood was a big deal. So she was kind of a rebel, but even she said, honey, don't you just want to go be a hairdresser or a nurse?
Yeah.
Do you think I should have been a Come on now. And like I had other relatives go, are you sure you got a plan B? You sure? You sure you could do that? I'm like, fucking watch me.
Yeah, there you go.
It was kind of like my mom. She went to school for physics to be a physicist.
Wow, nice.
And yeah, she and when she met my dad, she met my dad late mid-70s or so. And the first time she met my grandmother, of course, my mom was dressed very professional. She had nice long nails. And the first thing my grandmother said to my mom was, how do you type with those nails? And my mom right back said, I have someone who types for me. Because my grandmother grew up during the time when women were either nurses, teachers,
assistants,
or they were typists. They typed.
Yeah.
My mom was like, nope, I have someone who types types for me.
That's awesome.
I don't do that. That's not part of my job. My dad,
awesome.
yeah, she's a physicist. I think this when she was with the Army at the time. She's a physicist for the Army. She doesn't type. She has someone who types for her. But yeah.
Awesome.
I appreciate any woman who wants to be in those types of fields, like engineering, programming, any type of STEM or like male-dominated field. I'm like, oh my god, I love you. You're just like amazing. You're just like setting new records and pushing past freaking social boundaries. I love it so much. It's so good. I get so excited. I don't know why. I guess just because I am one, but you know, it's so awesome. Like anytime I hear about women engineers or women software designers or graphic designers, including myself, because you know I am one. So it's just so I just beam because like I'm just so proud of how far women have come. And just in the last century, like suffrage was not that long ago, man. It is so amazing how far women have come in just a shorter time.
I can tell you guys a story. So I've been a veterinarian now for 16 years, which means I started vet school 20 years ago. Oh, God. Anyway, there was a tenured professor. Keyword being tenured, which means he was impossible to fire.
Yeah.
He was a large animal veterinarian, which the large animal end of things is more split like 50-50. You know, male, female. Small animals, it's very much more women. Veterinary class is very much women.
Yeah.
Picture an auditorium, 90 people, most of whom are female, and this asshole comes up to the front of the room to talk about this is first year of vet school, and it's just doing like an intro talk on large animal stuff. I forget. He was just there for like a little bit, and he basically said to this room of women, "Don't you all know you're not supposed to be here? You're supposed to just go find husbands and have babies and cook. You have never."
Was joking.
No, he wasn't.
Oh no, I guarantee he was dead serious.
He was dead serious. You have never heard so many women growl in unison at the same time.
He's telling you someone kicked his ass, like literally.
Every single woman just looked at him, and you could literally hear a vibrating growl through that entire room. And thankfully, we didn't have to deal with him again until our 4th year. Some unfortunates got stuck with him on truck rotation, and I had to deal with him one day. And he wanted us, because the guy I was on truck rotation with, who was a very sweet man, he was lovely. He basically said, "Help me get my day done so I can go home and have dinner with my wife. I will tell you guys everything you need to know past boards." He's like, "I know you guys are small animal. Just help me get through my day."
Yeah.
Dude sold.
Yeah.
Well, we had to partner up with this guy whose name I have long since forgotten. Because he was that unimportant, micro penis man. We had to go help him, and he's like, "Okay, guys, there's a couple cows up on that hill. I need you to get them down." Okay. Well, truck rotation, you're wearing coveralls designed for men, rubber boots that fit over your shoes, so you can't really move too well. And he actually said to me something about the long lines of, you can't run real fast now, can you? So basically, I forget exactly how he said it, but it was basically insulting my weight.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. Sorry.
So I literally was just like, I just turned and looked at him and I said, you know what? If I had clothes actually meant for a woman, designed for a woman, and fit for a woman, I could actually maybe move a little faster. And I just sauntered up the hill and shoot the cows down. Because he had no impact on my grade. I could mouth off to him a little bit, and I was just like, dude, the crotch on these things is down around my knees, and these boots don't fit. What do you expect? These aren't meant for women.
My mom was taking, when she was in her undergrad, she was at Mary Washington. If anyone knows that, it used to be an all women's college when she was there, and she was, I think her class of, the physicists, there were maybe, I can't remember how many there were, but she was taking this one class, and the professor he was originally from New York, but originally I think he was from like Russia or Poland or somewhere. So he had a pretty thick accent. And the first day of class, it's all women. He looks at them and goes, women, you physicist. I teach you like physicist. No women here. All physicists. And she just said, yeah, he did not see them as women. He saw them, they were physicists.
Is that like
Yeah, it's
no
people.
crying in baseball kind of a thing?
Kind of, yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
like.
Sorry.
Yeah, but just more
Kinda-
that he's not going to treat you one way or other just because
Yeah.
you're women. He's not going to take
I
it
like
easy. It's just
that,
like it is what it
though.
is.
He's like, I see no
I do
women.
too.
I see physicists. You all physicists here.
And
Yeah.
that's all we ask, because all
Yeah.
women have been asking for decades. Just treat
Yeah.
us like people, not just for our bodies or what
the less
we
of
could
gender.
be.
The
Exactly.
fact that we get emotional. I mean, come on. That takes a lot of balls if you ask me.
Actually, yeah.
Well, you know
no,
what
men
the-
need to get more emotional now too. They need
here's-
therapy.
Here's the fun part. The time when women are most emotional is the time when our testosterone is the highest
I know.
and our estrogen is lowest. So when we are acting quote unquote emotional and irrational, we are acting more like men
Man,
than we are actually acting like a woman.
It's getting dirty in here, people.
I love it so much.
That's the best part.
I love it.
When we act angry and irrational or whatever, and I'm using air quotes for that because whatever. Literally, we are biologically closer to men hormonally than we are at our normal higher estrogen level.
mhm.
So
Is that because
maybe
we're shedding our jellyfishes?
Yeah, before the jellyfish show up, like the few days beforehand.
Get 'em,
I
Kate.
love how
Get
I
'em.
put that meme in the chat and no one got it until it was like,
Well, I wasn't here for that one, so that's why I was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Well, I can be excused. I was having a really rough
True.
few days. It was. But yeah. Funny thing is too, we were synced, by the way, like totally synced.
I was so proud of that. 'Cause
That
I
was awesome. When it finally clicked, it took me way too long.
Well,
But like I
it's
said,
funny
I was
'cause I-
having a really bad day that
Because I
day.
told Jason about it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's my gross YOLO." And I told him about it, and he was like, "Okay." So when it happened, and I put that in there, he was like, "I could probably make you like a meme of that." And I was like, "Oh, I found one," and I showed it to him. He's like, "Damn, that's pretty good."
That was awesome. But yeah, it took us all way too long. My excuse was I was having a really
Brain.
shitty day.
Brian goes, unleash the jellyfish.
Yeah, unleash the jellyfish. Where is it? Let me get that on there. There you go.
There you go.
Pretty funny.
Oh, it's funny. There's a guy on TikTok named Josh from England too.
Yep.
He's on a journey right now to learn about women, and
Yep.
it's hilarious. He was talking, he's all these things. I don't know what sex ed they do not get over in England, but holy shit, he's clueless. And he found out about clots, and now he's calling him Colin the Clot, and which made me laugh. But it's hilarious, like watching him like learn all these things about women, about like PMS, about periods, about childbirth.
Mm-hmm.
And the best are when he puts the TENS unit on to simulate labor.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do that. That's not the best idea in the world. I'm just saying.
No, he flew across the room on level 3.
Mhm.
That's funny.
Dude, level 3 is what I have on my back when I go to the chiropractor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, he was like, ah! Yeah, I'm like, wow,
Oh,
dude.
When I've gone to the chiropractor and they've done those and they put them like right on my back and my shoulder, and they're like they started off and they're like, "Hey, let me know." And I'm like, "Keep going."
Just keep going. Just keep
Yeah.
going.
I'm like, "How high can this thing go?" And then they're like, "It's getting really high." And I was like,
I get
going.
I get this knot like in my shoulder. It's between like my neck and the top of my shoulder, and it's like right in there. And I'll look at JD and I'm like, just punch it.
Just punch it.
fucking punch
Yeah,
it.
just
Like
punch it,
punch
just
it
punch
as
it.
hard as you can.
Or you
Put
might as
it
well just
right
stand on top of
here.
you. Just like
And he's like, no, I'm not gonna punch you. I'm like, I want that freaking knot busted up. Like, just fucking punch it.
Oh,
They
yeah,
never rub hard enough. I'm always like, Nick, can you give me a neck rub? Because I hunch over a computer at work. I'm hunched over
Mhm.
exam tables. Like, what surgery? My neck gets tight. And I'm like, honey, give me a rub. Like, rub my neck. Never hard enough. I'm like,
You
dig
need to
in
go,
there.
You need to go see like a big old Russian lady on a to get
Yeah.
Helga.
a massage from a big old Russian lady who's not afraid to get in there and really dig to the point where you're like,
Like
Yep.
your body needs to move when they do it. Like you need to
Yeah.
be like actually like struggling for it to
I
actually
had this. I swear, she was like this, like hippie chick, old hippie chick who gave me a massage once. And oh my god, did she? It was the best massage because she was not
wanna
afraid to
punch
get
my back?
in there and just work at it.
There.
And then she went for the armpits. And she went for those glands in the armpit, and I was like, I mean, because you don't realize how swollen those glands get. And she just went in there, and she was like, the whole time she was like, breathe, and she was like breathing with me, and I'm like, it really hurts. But oh man,
So real quick. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I
Welcome.
have my microphone again. My phone's charging, but next week if I'm joining everyone, I feel like I should be screaming because people at home can't hear me. But
You're okay.
next
Oh, sorry.
I'll have my brand new laptop. So yay!
Yay.
Excellent.
Didn't
Woohoo.
have any technical difficulties, so but thanks for having me again. I'm here.
course.
Sorry I'm late. It was just
Hey, no problem.
no
Yeah, it
way.
happens. No
just been a
worries.
shit show of a week.
Listen to that.
Take that. And then I get home. Well, every day I've been getting home this week to random things being eaten. Like the dogs chew apart. The first day was the mail.
Mhm.
The second day was a $225 check.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oops.
And today, the kitchen floor. So there's that needs to now be fixed.
Oh no.
Just
How
to
old
add
are they?
insult to injury. There's that.
Are they
Those
crate
are
trained?
9 months, 12 months, and then I have a 15-year-old min pin who doesn't move.
Oh.
He
At
doesn't
all.
move.
So he's not a suspect in the crimes that have been committed this week.
I like
You,
that.
you need a crate or like an X pen thing set up in
I-
a room that they can't escape or do any damage.
I-
Another. Oops,
Yeah,
sorry.
well, and here's the thing. I think it's the 9-month-old because the 12-month-old Ozzy haven't had an issue with him, but
Yeah, you might want to crate the 9-month-old. Another thing that's useful. Sorry, I can never turn off work brain.
no,
Puzzle
yeah,
to-
tell me.
Puzzle toys. Puzzle
Oh,
toys.
okay, cool. Yeah.
They basically keep them busy and occasionally dispense a treat to keep them occupied and tire them out. Or you could take a Kong toy. It's like these really hard rubber toys.
Yeah.
And either put peanut butter in them, but they get fat after a while, or fill them with water, freeze them, and it turns into like a popsicle that gives them something to lick and mess
That's
with.
so cool.
That's a good idea.
But honestly, you need to crate that dog before you end up with a $4,000 surgery bill because of a foreign body.
Yes. And that's what I'm really terrified of. Because
Yeah.
my stepbrother had that happen. The dog ate almost a whole roll of paper towels, and you wouldn't
Oh
think
yeah.
that would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
No, that'll wad up and get stuck. Guarantee it.
Mhm.
Oh,
I-
no.
I've taken so
So-
many random things out of animals. Crate that dog. Seriously.
Yeah, and I think she's just trying. I think it may be like a whole thing where I haven't been home. Like the past 2 weeks, I'm literally not home. And normally I am. And I think it's just like every day I just keep getting home later and later.
Is
and
that
Yeah,
anxiety?
it's just that
Yeah.
separation.
And then also, I think with her age, she's trying to get dominance over the two males because she's the only female. So I think she's
Yeah.
trying to find that like alpha female, I'm defiant type thing. And it's
You know,
driving
she sounds
me mad.
bored. With the destruction,
Yeah.
that's a boredom thing.
Yeah.
So you need to either crate her or confine her in such a way they make like these like X pen things, like these little collapsible pens
Yeah.
that you can like put in like your kitchen so that like there's nowhere that she can get to anything.
Right.
But she needs something to do. She's bored.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
got to give her like a puzzle toy or a Kong or something like that. It'll help.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I seriously can't turn work brain
It's
off.
okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Just like every day, like I cringe before I get home because I'm thinking, what is she gonna have ripped apart? And then today
Yeah.
I saw like the piece of the kitchen floor like
Brian.
just ripped up. I'm like, what is it gonna be tomorrow?
Trims.
Brian!
You gotta put this up.
Brian said, check that dog for unleashed
These
jellyfish.
jellyfish. Yeah. Yeah. If it gets into the trash. Wobble's got one. Wobble's got that.
Ew.
Hey,
Oh my god.
I once made a dog throw up the contents of the bathroom trash. Came up with the unleashed jellyfish,
Oh god.
vampire
Oh,
tea
God.
bag, the vampire tea
Oh.
bag, and the condom.
Oh, a condom.
that
That's
is
horrible.
vile.
That's
Funny
so-
story.
Absolutely vile.
This
It
is
was
so-
horrible.
This is probably like this should go like not last week but the week before for embarrassing moments. But speaking of dogs and trash cans, I was over at my ex-husband's house. This was when we were like dating, and this was like one of the first times that like I was there and his whole family was there, and I had my thing and I had to change said product. And I just threw it
Your jellyfish.
I just threw it in the trash can
Mm-hmm.
and like didn't think anything of it, and his whole family is there, so I just go back out into the living room,
Oh,
sitting down,
I already know where this is going.
and everybody's sitting there, and the
Oh,
dog Gus, who I miss so much, he was just this beagle, and beagles hunt for things.
Pounds.
Comes
Oh.
walking out, and his obnoxious sister, who I could not tolerate in any form, she's like, what's on Gus's foot? Like, what is that? And I looked at her like, oh my God. And it was wrapped around his paw, and it's just flapping in the wind.
Poor
And
baby.
like, what made it worse was when everybody went running to like, they're like, what is that? Oh my God, like what's on his paw? And I'm like, oh, you see,
I hate
it's
that.
a tampon that's wrapped around his foot. Like, let's not make a big deal of this.
Right.
The dog goes running, and everybody is chasing this beagle with a tampon on its foot, like throughout the house. So that was kind of devastating.
Can hear the Benny Hill music in my head while that's
Yeah.
going on.
I think that was like the higher power sending me like a thing that said, "Don't marry this."
Don't do this.
Yeah, like,
Red flag,
Run
red flag.
Get out of there.
It was literally a red flag.
Literally, it was a red flag.
Literally. Yeah.
Literally. Uh-huh.
Mother Nature went, no, don't
do this.
Yeah. Stop. Run. Away from this
Get
house.
out.
Well, I mean, since we have you talking right now, did you have any women you would like to bring up that are memorable or that you would
Okay.
like to
So,
bring
I
to our
came
attention?
across this, I don't know if it like I follow like these uncovered history things on Facebook, and every now and then like you'll just see like they'll just bring something up from the past. And about a week and a half ago, they posted this meme of this woman. It's not really a meme. It was just like her picture, and it had this thing. And her name was Susanna Salter. And in her town, the guys of her town wanted to make a joke of women. And this was in 1887, and it was in Argonia, Kansas. And they wanted to make a joke of women. So they put her name on the mayoral, like to
Mayoral,
become
yeah.
mayor of
Yeah.
the town or of the city. The election for mayor, they put her name as a write-in on the ballot, and the bitch done won the election and became the first woman mayor in the United States, and she served for 1 year. And so it was kind of like the joke was on them. But it actually, like, it played like a part in activating like women's rights and women's like succeeding in a world full of men. And I actually went and did a little bit of research. She didn't really do anything like fantastic during her time in office, but what I thought was really funny was her rate of pay for that 1 year in office was $1 single.
What?
Which in 2019 was equivalent to $29. So literally she got $29 for being mayor of Argonia, Kansas for 1 year. Yeah. Yeah. So I just thought that was pretty fascinating, that like something that people just don't know about.
It's awesome. Didn't she win like 60% majority?
Yes, she did. She did,
So
because I forget what happened, but like she didn't know that she was going to become like that she was on the ballot until the day of like the election. Like there was something like if you were a write-in, you didn't know about it until the day of the election. And she was like, okay, well, let's just run with this if this is allowed. And when she won the election, she was like, okay, I'll do it, you know? Like, so
Not passing up this opportunity.
Right.
she did it, and she was mayor. It was kind of like an uneventful, you know, time in office, but
Still significant though.
and it's actually pretty amazing that she had 60% of the vote. So good for her.
Yeah. That's what's pretty funny about that is that it was that high.
Yeah.
It started out as a joke, and then everyone just went, "No, wait, we actually
No,
want
we
this."
think this is a good idea.
Right.
So let's just do it. See what
I love it. So
That's
much.
awesome.
Ah,
That's absolutely awesome.
so great.
That's what you get for making a joke.
Uh-huh. Jokes on them.
You're like, damn, what do I do now? Crap. Oh, it's so awesome. Well, someone mentioned in the chat. Oh, I'm trying to find their name. There you go, Charlotte Ander, and they're like, I hope you do the Night Witches. And I forgot about them for a hot second, but they were female military aviators in World War II. They got the
Those are the glider ladies, weren't they?
I think so. Yeah, they're they're the aviators for the 588th Night Bomber Regiment in Germany for the Soviet Air Forces. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I forgot about them. Thank you.
They were
That's pretty
badass.
Oh my god, yes, that's so awesome. So yeah, fair. I just mentioned them since someone mentioned them in the chat. Love it, love it. Trying to think of like any other woman, because like there are so many other influential women in history. Obviously, there's
so many, tons.
oh yeah, like we could just go on. There's of course the more modern ones of Oprah Winfrey, and there's Ellen DeGeneres. There's
Greta Thunberg.
Greta.
our new VP, obviously.
I'll bring up mine in particular that I was choosing to do,
Yeah, go for it.
which is a more modern person in particular, but I think it's just more of a strong woman or a strong story in particular. So if you've been on social media or whatnot, the gays are really excited about a documentary that just came out on HBO Max called Tina, which is Tina Turner. So I did watch it, and I think that her story is actually kind of interesting. So this documentary is kind of like her love letter and goodbye to fans. It's just like, this is it. I'm not going to be a populi. She lives in Switzerland with her husband. I'm not going to do anything else. Like, this is it. You're getting my story one last time. I'm not going to talk about any of this again. I'm not going to be a public eye again. Like, it's just going to be gone. Like, just leave me the fuck alone type situation, which I think is a very interesting way to kind of do that, considering what had happened to her. But I'm sure many know her story, but I'll go over her just real quick. So, of course, I believe she grew up. I'm just going to pull this up here. I don't know if it says where, but it was in one of the southern states. And she had seen Ike Turner perform in his band, and she tried to get his attention, Tennessee. And eventually got his attention. Ike Turner was actually a very well-known, or was fairly well prominent in his music scene for being a songwriter. And a lot of people he worked with were very... took his songwriting, but then of course they started getting more success, so then they would leave him and abandon him, and so that caused him to have like some issues about that. And so when Tina was joining the band and singing, he was like, "You can't leave me, you just can't leave me," which is, unfortunately was a start of a very bad relationship. But in the beginning he was, yes, red flag, red, big red flag. But in her, she just, was like, I'm going to promise, because they started their friendship more like brother and sister. And then I guess he was married at the time, divorced, married her, gave her a brand new name. Like her original name was, what was it? Anne Mae Bullock. But, named her Tina Turner, as it would be more of a performer name and such. And so, they performed. It was Ike and Tina, all Ike and Tina. And of course, as usual with bad situations, of course, he beat the shit out of her quite frequently, beat the shit of her in front of people, all that type of stuff.
He was an alcoholic, though, wasn't he? Wasn't there I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but there was also drugs and alcohol.
Some in that sense, but I don't think it was just alcohol, at least not the way Tina describes it. It was just a bad situation. He had 2 kids previously. They had a kid together. She had a kid previously with one of the other bandmates. So it was 4 boys that she raised for them. And she would spend her time, performing during the week, come home, be a wife, do things, take care of the kids and all that stuff. I mean, she also talked about how, he's, raped her and things of that nature too. So it wasn't just physical, but also sexually assaulted her. And that is just a bad thing. But beyond that point, of course, she divorced him. Just one of the times she just talked about how, it just wasn't it. She was tired of his shit. I'm not going to take this shit. Get the fuck out of my life. And essentially through their divorce, one of the most poignant things was that she just didn't want anything. She just wanted to be done. He, of course, was more concerned about the money, because that's what he was. He was focused on the money. He was focused on the name. Tina Turner, I want all your songs. I want all the royalties. I want that. She's like, I don't want fucking shit except my name. I want the name. Even though you gave me Tina Turner, Tina Turner. So you can have all my fucking shit. Just give me Tina Turner. So she took the name. That's the only thing that she had won, although he was fighting her for it. Even though he was getting everything else, he was still trying to fight that one too. And so what happened next? So then she just was working constantly. And no one wanted to give her a chance. And eventually someone had, found her wherever she was. She just did anything. She just did any show that she could do. Jackson's, and I can't remember all the other variety shows that she would just be on. She'd just be on anything that she could possibly get her hands onto. And then, let's see, what happened after that? Eventually she got the good songs, and you got What's Love Got to Do With It. It was like a really big one for her that really kind of brought her back in. And at this point, she's already 40, 50 years old. So she's an old woman in the entertainment industry, and now getting success separately on her own. So she worked hard for it, to be this person. And then of course she just built from there. But then at that point, building the second success, everyone kept bringing up Ike and Tina. And anyone who's been in these type of relationships don't want to always just be associated with it. And she thought that by writing a book and having the movie, she wouldn't have to talk about it. But every single fucking time that she would do an interview, she would just talk about it. She was like, you guys keep bringing this up. Like, yeah, it happened, but I don't want to remember it. Like, I don't want to talk about it. This is why I gave this to you, so you can have the movie, you can have the book. These are what I'm thinking. Sorry, my cat was just making a funny face because I gave her catnip earlier, so she was just making a crazy face at me. So it just distracted me for a second. I'm sorry. But yeah, she was just saying, like, how can I move on when all you want to talk about is this time when, he was beating the shit out of me? Like, come on, like, you don't. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that, just watching it and seeing it, of course, she talks about all the rest of her success and moving on. But I think just the point of the story that I found the most powerful wasn't just the fact that she, got above it, which is still a very strong thing. Like you get in these situations, you think you're getting this great life, and then things aren't working well, and you got to figure out how to survive and get out of those situations. But it's just the fact that, you know, sometimes others don't want you to let go of it. And that's
Right.
the hard part. She wanted to move on, and she just talks about it, like how she just doesn't, like, why did I have to do this? And every time they would bring it up, I was like, I don't need to relive that. Every time you bring this up, you relive it. And then eventually she got older, and then she talked about how, like, you know, you forgive what happens, because when you don't forgive it, it's not that you're forgetting to forget or whatnot. It's just like at that point, I'm letting go of the pain then at that point, because not holding on to it and being upset by it is damaging me and does nothing to you, because you clearly don't care anymore about it. Because they showed interviews when he was being talked to about the situation,
Right.
and he's just like, oh, I don't necessarily remember it being like that. Like, no, I
Yeah,
didn't beat the
right.
shit out of my wife. It's like, okay, whatever. But she just was like, you know, if you wanted to talk about Ike, like, why don't you just say, like, you know, Ike has a new album coming out. How do you feel about that? Like, she would say positive things still about him. Was just always kind of like, you know, she didn't want to reflect on the negative. And I felt like that was just a really good documentary and a very interesting way just to bow out. I felt like it was very graceful. Felt very emotional at the end, because they did the song from Schitt's Creek, "You're Simply the Best." So they played that whole song, and I was just like, oh my god, it's just the love, because the story. This is the real story. She just wanted love, and sometimes you accept love in difficult ways. Her mom, they showed interviews with her mom, and her mom just did not care about her. Did not like to say anything. They would say, like, what's the most proudest thing that you say about Tina in dealing with all this stuff? It's like, oh, well, you know, Tina, she's just good at handling this stuff. And she wouldn't say proud or anything. She's like, she's just good at handling shit and things that are coming her way. And it's like, wow, like, it sucks. They have this and then this. And then all the stuff and the love that she got from the fans. And she loves her fans in return. And then she talks about meeting her husband. And they didn't get married for 29 years.
Ooh.
I want to say 29 years. So much older, eventually got married, live in Switzerland. And she's just happy. She's just happy, loving life.
That's good.
And then she's just done. She just doesn't want to do it anymore. And I just kind of always heard of her. I mean, she was part of the Divas. I think she had one of those VH1, you know, behind the music. I watched a lot of Oprah, so I knew Tina Turner Tina Turner was Oprah's like idol, and so she kind of would have episodes about Tina and all that type of stuff.
Tina's kick ass, man.
Yeah, I think she's just an overlooked, strong Black woman, singer, entertainer, been through a lot of shit, and she's known by one thing, but I think that she is more of a legend that needs to be discussed more or talked more or seen more or put on this higher pedestal. And I think I wouldn't say most people do. Like, they just know her, but I don't feel like.
I remember being a young person and like watching her on stage, whatever age she may have been at the time, probably in her 60s. And she's just mini dress, shaking her ass up there, fucking dancing, getting down. Like, she did not just get out on a stage and sing.
Nope.
She performed with every freaking ounce of sweat she had in her person, every muscle in her body. She went out with like full intentions of just being the performer she knew she could be. And she was amazing. She's just an amazing person. That's awesome. That's cool that you picked her.
Yeah, as I said, the gays have been going crazy because the documentary just came out. So it's on HBO Max. If anyone has HBO Max, you can watch it. It's a really good watch. It's about an hour and a half. And it just it's a very nice flowing story. I mean, she goes over all of it. And as long as if you view it with the mind of like, it's her love letter to her fans of like, this is it. This is the last time you're getting this story. Just don't bother me anymore. That's it. You don't need any more. You don't need any more than this. Why do you need more than that? And so I think it's a nice thing that she had done. Because she could have, I mean, she's just really not in the public eye anyway right now. But it was just a nice goodbye. I feel like it was well. I don't know.
That's pretty awesome.
I think
That's
another
excellent.
performer that's kind of coming back in the spotlight recently has been Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love her so
She's
much.
amazing. She does so much good work. I mean, besides
Mhm.
the fact she's an amazing performer, a long musical career, she does literacy work. She does.
Mm-hmm.
She donated a shit ton of money to COVID research.
Yep.
She's absolutely incredible. She has like a program in her hometown where she sends books to kids to get them to like go to to read so that they
Well, I mean,
actually graduate. It's
She's your
amazing.
typical dirt floor poor
Mm-hmm.
to success now. I mean, and she's not afraid to talk about, how she was raised, how she grew up. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that, she grew up with a coat that was made of different colored patches
Wow.
and got made fun of, and how that, a lot of her songs are from her growing up, and the fact that she came up with Jolene because she saw some girl in the audience and asked her, "What's your name?" And she said Jolene, and literally Dolly Parton, to remember, it was Jolene, 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 and that's how you got the song Jolene.
Mm-hmm.
I love that song so much. It's so like it's just like sad but captivating. It's just just hits
That's
that
an
button.
era of country music too. It was a lot of storytelling.
Yeah.
So
That's what I think
that
it should be. It should go back to that too. It's just like it's gotten too like sensationalized now, in my opinion. Like I stopped listening to country when I was younger. Like Shakira.
What are you talking about? Fat
Not
Bottom
Shakira.
Girls is a jam, bro.
Shania Twain. There you go. She was like one of the last country artists I really listened to, and then when it just like started getting more sensationalized, I'm just like, eh. But now I've kind of gotten back to it. I don't know if you call her country, but Brandi Carlile, she's really.
Yeah.
Oh my
that's
god.
a lady that's got some talent. Yeah.
Her songs make me emotional. Well,
Mhm.
she did the credit song for the Pixar movie Onward, and I was just like, oh my god, this is like upbeat but emotional and inspiring, and oh my god.
Did you
and then,
dig into her work after that?
yes, I did, and my favorite
she's
from
very
her
talented.
is not only the joke, but also the collaboration one that she did with I don't remember the names of the other artists, but the album's called The High Women, and it's that song right there. So they're singing about women who were killed and unjustly, prosecuted in the past, saying that we're still here, we're still alive, our stories are still moving on. I'm just like, oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, Brandi Carlile is pretty amazing.
I love her music. That's country to me. Like you really you pour your soul into it. You tell a story. You touch. That's what art does. That's like the best, the best part of art is touching other people's hearts and souls and making them feel. It's just so beautiful. I love it. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Rant done.
Don't. Do not apologize. That's what art is supposed to do,
It's
and there
so
should
gorgeous.
be more of it.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Kat was saying something earlier about how her family said something about like, are you sure this is what you want to do with your time? When my family found out I wanted to be an artist, which is what I said I wanted to be from the time I was 3 years old, I hit middle school, and all of a sudden everybody was like, I don't know if that's gonna be a really good career choice. You might want to think about doing something else. And I'm like, what? This is all I ever wanted to do my whole life. Like, what are you talking about? I don't even know if there's anything else out there, But yeah, I mean, art is everything.
It's so wonderful. It's just like in any type of form. Like I love it in music. I especially love it in digital and like physical media. I super duper love abstract sculpture. Right, there you go. Because that I think is the best form of physical art. Is you can change its meaning and its perspective based on your perspective. Because art in itself is based on your own perspective, your observation. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So anything that looks like a piece of crap to someone else could be absolutely beautiful to someone else. Like, it's just embodies art. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
See, for me,
this is my career, man.
Yeah, for me, it's like it's everything. So I wanted to do this like ultra cool gallery show one time. I had this weird vision in my head. I went off about it for like 3 years. I was like, I want to, like, if I had the money, I would do this gallery show called like the Five Senses, and like as you walked in, there'd be all these smells and all this stuff, and there'd be food, and you could touch it, and da da da. And I went completely fucking insane over it because it is really your entire environment. It's everything. It's crazy. Anyway,
Yeah.
now that I went on that rant, along with you,
It's okay. I don't mind.
I recently watched the Betty White documentary on Netflix. Did anybody watch this?
to. No.
Yes,
and
I did watch
need
it a
to.
bit back. Yes, yeah, she's a great woman.
It's from 2016, and I didn't even fucking know that shit. That's the first time I found it, the first time I knew anything about it, and I love her even more now than I thought I did before. Oh my God, what an amazing
that woman.
chick.
I
Like,
love
she
her.
didn't even like go into shit trying to be like this awesome, like, I'm a woman, I'm gonna try to make a name for women. No, she
No.
just went at this shit trying to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
You know, she just went like, this is what I'm good at, this is what I want to do. I'm just gonna go do it. Regardless, I don't even care. And she was so amazing at it. Didn't give a shit, just fucking trucked into it. Oh my God. In heels and a dress, climbing up ladders, entertaining audiences before shows started to warm them up.
Mhm.
Her own show. Like, she was
I know.
responsible for herself. It was unreal. Like, she just was like, I'm making me. I'm
She
going to make
wasn't
me
afraid to
happen.
cross lines that most women in entertainment wouldn't cross.
Right.
She looked at that line and said, "Fuck it, I'm going across it. I'm not
Well,
telling
I
you,
love her.
I'm going right across."
The best fact is that sliced bread is the best thing since Betty White.
Yep.
I think the biggest lesson there with all the women that we bring up at any point in time in our conversations is the fact that, like, none of them let anyone tell them no.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were just stubborn and went at what they loved and what they were good at and fought through whatever it took to get there.
Which is
And-
traditionally seen as a male trait, and so really it's not much different than successful men. It's just it's seen as something different because it's a woman doing it.
Right.
Exactly. Oh, that reminds me, because I should have mentioned this earlier, but I keep on forgetting that the Vikings, the Norse, they actually had women. Well, they didn't have women, but basically it was when it came to like the divvying up chores and work. Women took care of the finances and took care of the home. They had like a stake in major things during that time. And I was like, this sounds wonderful to me. Oh wow.
Well, women were
Mhm.
also expected to be able to fight.
Could
Women
be.
were expected to go off and fight too.
That's just I
I'd
love
fight.
that.
I would fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be down. Hey, Grims, do you want to bring up Brian's question before we get too late into this?
Yeah. So Brian has said, is there a reason why the documentary is prolific with the gay internet community? So with the gay men specifically, I think they relate a lot to the struggle of women. They love powerhouses, strong women personalities. You'll really find that. It's because it's a relatable thing for them, because as a gay man, many of them are seen, especially ones that are more feminine in nature, are seen as female. So of course seen as less of a man. Not that it makes you any less than a man or makes a woman less than a man or anything like that, but I think it's that relatability and seeing the struggle. So for them, Tina was a really big one. I had noticed a lot with a lot of the drag queens as a whole, but specifically the Black drag queens in particular, icon legend for them. Just the struggle of the times, just being someone who was a Black icon in times when there wasn't really a whole lot. It was, you would be saying like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, all of them as it started going. And so for her being a face and being there, and then of course being known for the struggle, it's all just very relatable. So of course they attach to that, but they do it for a lot of women. There's a lot of icons. Not to say they don't have icons for men either. I mean, you got Freddie Mercury being a very big one of trying to push gender norms. I mean, he did all the "I want to break free" and all that.
Yeah,
like
what a
it's
good
just
song.
yeah.
Help me,
And so,
God.
Oh, yeah.
and so it's just kind of being able to emulate those things because it's the beauty that gay men tend to see is the strength of a woman. They see it more than anything else. This is the strength of the woman in seeing what it is because they themselves see more feminine ideals and seeing what those feminine ideals being a strong feature and not being ashamed of it.
And I think they also, because they see it's the confidence of like
Mm-hmm.
the strong woman having that confidence. Because actually, I remember reading something about with drag queens, like Dolly Parton actually competed
Huge.
in a drag queen competition of herself and lost to a drag queen.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
she's
Yeah.
Dolly
That's
Parton is
That's
another one of
real.
those huge drag icon as well. But also
Yep.
she says that she's also a drag queen too, because being drag is resembling female. So of course you may not be like that, but when you're dressing up and putting your makeup and putting your hair on and wearing your heels and acting a certain way, it's in theory drag. It's being
It's
the
putting
ideal
show
of
on.
it.
It's
Yeah.
putting the show on. Like Marilyn Monroe is really big within the gay community because actually my former hairdresser, he idolizes Marilyn Monroe. If you're ever in DC, it's not far from the zoo. There is a building. Can't remember the street, but it on the side of it is a mural of Marilyn Monroe, and that is his building. And he actually commissioned to have that mural, and it is now considered a national landmark in DC.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
I like that.
And he used to have a home. It was up in Delaware. The pool was it had Marilyn Monroe, her face in the pool.
That's pretty
Huh.
cool.
That's insane.
That is
That's
And
Billy.
I'm drinking out of my Marilyn Monroe cup.
Oh,
Nice.
there you go. Yes, that.
Look at that.
Huh.
And for years, he always wanted to make me up as Marilyn Monroe. He's like, you would make the perfect Marilyn Monroe. He's like, I could make you Marilyn Monroe. I
Mhm.
never let him, and
Do it. That's a woman who pushed a lot of norms.
yeah,
Being a curvy woman, being sensual and sexual and all that type of age, and being such a popular.
I think a lot
space.
of people thought she was just a dumb blonde,
Of
but
course.
she's actually quite smart.
Mhm.
we had to act dumb because that's what they expected
That's
women
what's,
to
that's
be
what
like.
sold.
That's what
Mhm.
sold.
That's what kind of made her, it sexualized her into a category that was attractive to men, I guess, back then, you
Yeah.
know? So, but she was actually quite smart, and she was a pretty strong woman too, you know? So,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she just let too many men manipulate her into thinking otherwise, and ended up.
I think that just falls into the category that she wanted to be loved. I
Yeah.
mean,
Mhm.
growing up, she was adopted out. Like she didn't have
Mhm.
that family. It was it's pretty much like an abandonment issue. I think she grew
Yeah.
up with. So she was just always constantly looking for somebody to love her, and unfortunately, she just picked. She's a horrible picker. She just picked the wrong ones, and it
No.
led to her demise. So
Well,
Yeah.
I guess that just all boils down to the fact that we all want to be loved.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I think that's what the whole journey always is. It's just finding love and to be loved.
I want to be accepted for who we are and what we do.
Mhm.
Well, guess what?
Yes.
I love you guys, and I accept you for who you are.
Me
And
too.
I love you all and accept you all.
All of you.
Me too.
All of you.
Yee.
I think
Yeah,
that's what we get on
I'm
here.
just thinking
Absolutely
about
the
it.
same.
To
I had a
wrap-
really hard time with this subject because I was like, most of the time, whenever I feel like, I don't know, women are like, I idolize women, and if that's really what you want to say, or like look up to women, it's usually women I know directly
Mm-hmm.
and not people, because I have a hard time with that as far as like famous people go and stuff like that. I feel so disconnected from them that I don't
Yeah.
really idolize them, put them, I mean, I respect them for what they've done, but I don't really like put them in this place where I'm like, oh my God, they're so amazing. Like Maya Angelou is amazing. I love her. I love everything about her. You know what I mean? She's probably one of my favorite people all time ever. But I don't know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know her well enough to sit down and have a cup of coffee with her and hear her tell me about her day, her week, her life story directly, you know, stuff like that. So it's a different kind of thing to me when I know someone. So like I feel this way about all you guys. Like you guys are people that I think have amazing stories, have been through so much, are very strong people. And I idolize that quite a lot. You know, I feel that way about Anna. I feel that way about a lot of the women that I've had the time to get to know. Vanessa, you know, like it's a privilege.
No, I feel the same way. Yeah, I do look up to a lot of you guys, and just like, yeah, all the shit you've gone through, and like what you're actively going through too. Like, oh my God, Chan! Like this past week, your video on Facebook, that was just like so
That was
inspiring.
incredible. That was
Holy
absolutely
crap.
incredible.
Like I can't believe like if you hadn't told me that that happened to you, I would never have known. The way you carry yourself today, I would never have known.
Yep.
It's just amazing.
It's just like anything else anybody else has been through, though. You got through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pushed yourself through it. You rocked it out. You're where you are right now because you put on that head that is, I have to do this.
It's just so inspiring, though. It's just amazing, and you guys inspire me too. So like, I just try to, you know, think about that, and whenever I'm going through my own shit, and I'm just like, you know, take some lessons here and there, and
But don't ever deminimalize what you're going through just because someone else got through it means you'll get through it, but it may be different than how someone else gets through
more
it.
so as an example, not to
Right.
you know delegitimize myself. So that's
I
a word.
look at it more like this person made it through this. I can definitely handle what I'm facing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Even though I may have had like 16 breakdowns before my brain did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have that in my head where it's like, I can do this today because somebody else did this yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm gonna be
even if you don't get through it today, there's tomorrow.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, there is always tomorrow, and if there's not tomorrow, there is the day after. I mean, it's like you don't have to get through it in one day. It's, you know,
Life's a
There's a-
journey.
yeah.
It is.
It's day after day. Put one foot in front of the other, and just keep moving forward.
Mhm.
And you're gonna stumble, you're gonna fall, you're gonna
hmm
one step forward, 2 steps back. Could be
10 steps back,
10
maybe.
step backs.
Oh no.
Sorry, sometimes.
you
I'm
can, you know,
talking-
and the worst thing is not allowing yourself to hit that rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes hitting that rock bottom is what really gets you to go, you know what? I really do need to make changes. I really do need to do this.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you don't hit that rock bottom, you always think, okay, I'm still good. But yet you're still just sitting there like teetering, and
Treading above water.
yeah, you're not really treading, you're more likely sinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Delusion.
And then you have those months or weeks where you're like sitting on your knees on the floor in your living room, looking up at the sky, going, please, somebody just fucking help me here. You know? And it doesn't happen until you're ready to help yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, those days where you sit in your car and you go, why? Why am I here? Why am I
Yeah.
doing this? And then you look at the clock and you go, shit. Well, I guess I do have to go in and face the day.
Yep.
So when I shared that video earlier in the week, that was day 1 of physical therapy after my accident.
Oof.
That was the second time since December that I had been put on my feet. And the first time was like a week prior. And when they put me on my feet in that video, that was the start of like 5 days a week I was in physical therapy. So like day 1, I looked like that. I was crying, and there are off and on throughout like the process. There were days where I was like crying and like I can't do this and shit like that. But like day 1 was awful. Day 2 was rough, but there's a huge difference in how I approached the situation. Yeah. Still painful, still horrible, still absolutely the last thing I wanted to fucking do. But if I showed you the video of day 2 compared to day 1, you'd go, holy shit, that doesn't look like the same situation. Or it looks like maybe a few weeks apart, and it's not. It's because when I stepped in there in day 2, I was determined to go, no matter what I'm going to need, whether it's this fucking walker or whether it's forearm crutches or whatever, I'm determined to now deal with the pain of the neuropathy and the fact that I have no muscle mass right now. And we're going to rebuild, and we're going to fix this. You know, like that, it got in my head. You know, like I went from being terrified to being terrified but ready.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes a huge difference in a process.
That's phenomenal. So yeah, you were mentioning, inspiration. I just wanted to mention that. So most definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So.
Well, this sounds like a good place to end, unless anyone else has anything else they want to add.
I just love you guys. That's it. There you go. I love you all.
Love you guys too. This is the best group. This really is an awesome group.
Helps keep me sane. So
sometimes that's all you need is another crazy person to go, you're completely sane. I understand.
What do you mean? We're not sane. We're crazy. I don't know what's this sane you
talk about.
Right, yeah.
I think I say to Chan at least once every week or every 2 weeks, why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah. Just know it's not just you. It's happening to everyone.
We're all here going through it too, babe. Thank God, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, anywho, we'll do all our shout outs. I'll start, of course. This is from Faraway Pins. She released another Kylo Ren pin. There we go. Ooh, sexy man. Sexy man right there. Apparently with some bush or something going on right there.
Might be what they call a happy trail or whatever.
Yeah, I was wanted to share that one. Still not as good as some of the other stuff that I've shown, but still, I like it as a whole. Let's see. We'll go around the circle.
Shelf Gravy. Last night we had the Shelf Gravy show. We'll have another Shelf Gravy show in 2 weeks. But if anybody has any questions or wants to know anything or would like to discuss a commission, contact us. Facebook, Instagram, email, whatever you like.
Nerds Have Spoken podcast. They upload new content every Thursday. And this Saturday, they're going to have a special meetup where they are going to be doing a watch party of Godzilla and King Kong. So check it out.
That sounds exciting, actually.
Kat, anything from you?
I always have to hype up the hubby. Masterpiece Shit Piece. Occasionally pop something fun up on YouTube, so keep an eye out for him.
Hi.
Sorry, my mom asked me a question.
Oh,
no. So I am a graphic designer, freelance illustrator. Also, I do knit and crochet stuff, as I showed earlier in the show. I have all those social medias. You can contact me. I'm currently taking commissions. There might be wait lists involved, but usually I'm pretty quick about my projects. You can also email me. Please don't be afraid to ask me questions. I don't bite, I swear. So.
Amy, anything you want to shout out?
No, one day maybe.
You'll have your card up there.
Have your
I'll
card
get my shit
or-
together.
You could do a
And,
charity, anything you're interested in. You can always shout out. Doesn't matter. I do pins. So that's what's
You could
fun.
always
that's
shout out
exciting.
Tom's music trade.
Oh, oh, I feel like I'm in 8th grade.
I know.
No, this is exciting. Today when I got home, my Amazon delivery wasn't supposed to get here till Saturday, but wait, there it is. This showed up today. It's like I feel, oh, here. It's this. It's lip venom, and I bought this like 20 years ago, and I found it on Amazon, and I am now addicted to it. And I went through my first tube of this in like 3 weeks, and I reordered it, and it wasn't supposed to get here till Saturday. And after the shitty day that I had, I came home and there was a package, and I was like, what is this? And I opened it, and it came 2 days early. So
Good. So it's just lip gloss? What is it? I
it's
never
just
heard
lip
of it.
gloss, but it's
Okay.
like supposed to like plump your lips.
Okay.
I don't know how much that really works, but like I am so addicted. Maybe it's bad that I'm addicted to this. 'Cause God only knows
What stuff is in there? No, I've used a lot of those lip plumpers and stuff.
Right.
So I know how it is.
Is
But I
it the
was just-
smell of it? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
sometimes like nail
It's the-
polish or something.
it's the smell of this that just I don't know. I just constantly am putting it on. I'll even put it on before I go in somewhere, and I have a mask on, so it's like not.
I've watched you do it.
It's
She'll
just
put it
because
on.
I'm
She'll
like-
put her mask
Mask
on.
on over.
Yeah, it's just like the smell of it. I don't know. But that was exciting. So there's my little plug. Do lip venom. Lip gloss.
Recommended products. I like that. Recommend
Woo, wow.
products. Do that.
There you go.
Yeah,
And
let's
it
do
comes
that.
in this really cute
Little tube.
Yeah, the tube
thing.
looks cool.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can store other things in there too. It'd be like a coin storage after you've used the lip gloss. Like you're
Yeah, I
doing.
tried
I'm
to
just
do
thinking of
that,
things.
but I end up losing it, and
Tampon holder.
There you go.
For
that
one.
is a fantastic idea. Gonna make that happen.
So it doesn't get
Well,
measured in
As I
God's
said,
voice.
if you had two of them, though, the problem is like which one. It's kind of like if you use the butter tubs, but it's like, oh, it's this beans today. Whoops, no, this one.
Ems and I can collaborate. We'll make like a jellyfish catcher label for on the outside of it.
We all do it, but
I'm
Love it.
telling you, we got to get stickers. That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking into. I think that'll probably be the easiest thing to do. Is probably
All right.
get a design. We'll design that up. I was going to talk to you at some point, Ams, and we'll do stickers. I think, and then if it catches on, we'll expand from
you
there.
know what? I actually want to do that. Yes, I want to look into like getting into stickers too. So
I'll,
yeah, I think
I'll
we'll do
pay
that.
for it.
Yeah.
I'll commission you for it.
Yeah,
and we'll go
man.
from there.
Yes.
Anywho, so continuing on, Hole in the
Okay.
Ground Productions. So you can get your miniatures, pro 3D printing, all that jazz. There we go. Prop. Couldn't think of the word. Props needs from them. So reach out to Eric or Casper, and you'll be able to get some quotes from them. Of course, Dust Mites can't have our awesome intro outro music without him. So listen to his music wherever music is available. So give that a check out. Of course, you can follow us on social medias for your updates. Pretty much just updates of what's going on when we're about to upload, just as a friendly reminder on Thursdays. But of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. Outside of that, I
Yeah.
think that covers everything. So you all have a wonderful April Fools and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.